Remember, I've gone on parole and they've said you ain't going nowhere. I used to scan like this. Scan. Yeah, I'm rearrested at Birmingham Crown Court mid 2005. Yeah, around about April 2005. Get arrested, carried to what was now known as the MIU, Major Investigation Unit, taken down there, somewhere down the Bristol roadway. From there, I'm literally questioned now by these police officers, probably about 10 individual crimes, historical like shit from friggin' the 90s. So they are questioning me literally. So this is all off the back of getting not guilty, but I'm not really like deep in it to see that they're actually throwing everything at me. I'm just dealing with it in the moment, but not really fully deep in it. Like, and when I say dealing with it in the moment, it's more a case of keeping your mind.
Trying to stay sane.
Trying to stay sane. Because without your mind, you ain't got nothing in life. So, cut a long story short, I'll probably leave there with about 14 charges.
14 more charges?
Yeah, on the back of this not guilty. I'm held in the police station. I'm gone to court now, again, like in a couple days after that, for a few of these 14 charges. There was all kind of serious. There was lots of talk about lots of things, and I think it was mainly all around robbery, guns, robbery, all that kind of stuff. Derby might have been one of the 14, you know. Yeah, the 22M, what was in the that was in that depot. It went through the court proceedings until they was kind of asked the question of, you know, what was going on basically from their side. So that's how all that information came out. But yeah, let's say there was 14 charges. So I've gone back to Wood Hill, where everybody had heard I'd gotten not guilty. They'd assumed that I was out free. Little did they know that I was gate arrested and I was on the way back to Wood Hill. Landed at Wood Hill. Yeah, so now the fight has begun again. As a whole new fight. Recalling it now is pretty crazy because at the time you're just kind of just dealing with it. And I haven't really spoken about. Okay, so I'm back now, and I'm now rubbing shoulders with a different set of circumstances, because now I'm in high security prison where there's lots of people that are charged with serious offences, and I kind of started to like chill with the brothers. And I was picking up lots of little nuggets about Islam and the Deen. And there was a few guys on the wing that had no charges, like they'd never been charged. They were just held without any what you call it, any charges. So I started to kind of open the mind and my eyes to Islam. So this would have been maybe 2000 and late 2005, 2006. So now people and the world that I'm coming from could see that I was now kind of sitting down with brothers at the table, and you know, and spending a bit more time around them. And there was comments at the time like, what are you doing around them? And then I started to go to Jummah, my Friday prayer. And the first time I ever really heard the Adhan, which is the call to prayer.
Okay.
And I cannot lie, it gave me goosebumps, you know. And I ended up taking my shahada with the brother that used to call the adhan, along with another one who'd also spent, I think they'd been in about 10 years with no charges. But very humble, very nice, very calm. Never ever seen any like bad language or any type of arrogance. It was very yeah, that type of thing was new to me, because I'd never experienced that level of kindness before. So it was a bit strange to me that it was actually genuine, you know. Anyway, so me and the brothers, we started to, and I ended up taking my shahada, and then I went back to fight all these new cases, and I'd go back on a court appearance, like at the first court appearance with those 14 new charges. I went up, and I think it was a female judge. They were trying to appoint a judge for trial, and the first judge I come up against was a female judge, and she threw out about 4 or 5 of those charges.
Okay.
Right there in front of everyone, just like, this is bullshit, I'm not having it, get rid of them. Then I went up again for another hearing, and I'm left with like, say, 9 or 8 charges, and then they threw out again a load more. The next judge did. So now I'm down to like 4 or 5 charges, and now these charges, they're on me. And I had to fight, I had to fight these charges. So I fought those charges, and I ended up with combined. I ended up with a late 19 might have been 19 years 7 months. Yeah, that's what I ended up with. Ended up resorting. That was what it totaled up to. So I needed to serve out of that, I think, about 14 or 15 years. What I didn't know at that time was that my sentence calculations had been messed up.
Okay.
Because I was in on a previous offence that I got not guilty for. I was found not guilty. Then I'm gate arrested. Then I'm recharged with the one they originally questioned me for. And the system had changed in this time. So now anything you get convicted for, you do half. But when I was charged, you do 2/3.
Gotcha.
So now I've gone from one jail to another jail. One jail saying 2/3, and then when I land at Whitemore, so the first jail I went to is Long Lartin. That was the first dispersal after conviction. I think that was in about 2007 or something like that. So then at that point they're saying 2/3, which I'm like, what, 14 years sitting here, 15 years? Then when I went from there, I got ghosted from there. Some absolute bullshit happened, yeah, and they ghosted me, like, literally. I didn't even know what the real reason was. I thought they just move around high-risk prisons, but there was a story behind that came to light afterwards. So boom, what happened now is they moved me to Whitemore, me and this other guy. Pretty late in the night as well we got there. When we got there, that was my into Whitemore, and started there in, I think, about 2007, and didn't leave there till about 2011. I think I was about 5 years there in that jail. There was no phones in that jail. They put the blockers up. When we first got there, phones were working in there, and then they put the blockers up there in the jail, so there was no mobile phones. There was no signal.
Okay.
So literally, I fully detached. That was when the making of, like, the detachment, when there was no real contact, no continuity, no flow of the outside.
Yep.
Started to get into the dean more. Learned how to cook in there properly. Could do bits and bobs outside, but in there I learned how to really, like, cook properly.
Okay.
And every year people would fall off, contact.
Yep.
People would disappear, like, that was around. There'd be no contact, there'd be no No, nothing. So got a lot. I got into the gym I wasn't really a gym guy, you know. I wasn't into it, but I got into the gym in 2007 in Long Lartin. Got into circuits. The guy from Manchester he'd been in a few years before, and yeah, I got into circuits there. And once I'd got into circuits, that was it. Then it became like my drug. That was my an escape, a stress relief, all that kind of stuff. Had a lot of targets in there as well, personal type of, you know, this many reps for this and this for that and all that kind of stuff. So then, still wasn't really good on education. Not really. I was not a strong reader. I couldn't really read or write properly still. Still fighting the cases. But one of the biggest fights was trying to get off that high risk Cat A. Ended up doing about probably 8 years as a high risk Cat A prisoner. Then I got down to Cat A. Then once you're down to Cat A and you know, and it's all well and you're ticking all the boxes, that's when you start to make real quick progression. Cat B was always like the desired goal. That was the dream. So now, game changed when I got Cat A. Literally, you know, you can start to reconnect with the world again. I actually personally never really had drama. There's loads of elements, yeah. Now, what comes to mind is, one, who was you on the road? How did you conduct yourself on the road?
That's what you're saying. And he was cool on
Now,
road as well.
when you come to the pen, like one of the things that will get you frontline or close to drama is the economy. If you are into selling and hustling and in the mix of buying and selling phones and selling drugs and all, this is where you are close to the fire. You're close. You're very close. Like, but then also it's like there's also an element of, there is an element, not for everybody, but there's an element where if it does go off, what does the future look like after this? And if there's an element for some people that this is going to be an absolute madness, it's going to be a mazza. If that's the case, then that can be another element that could keep you away from drama. Your mouth as well. You see a mouth, like, this might be a man who might not have as much money or have as much violent history, but he will knock you out right here now on the spot.
Yep.
Yeah? You know what I mean? Like, there's an element of that in the whole thing as well. Like, so it's how you deal with people on a face-to-face, because it can get busy on site. You know, like yo, you fucking buried a mouse. It'll just move to you. It's not even like a, yo, I will do this. No one's giving you a heads up. It's just going off. Because remember, like, it's not just the UK. There's a lot of foreigners. See, what happened to me, another major thing for me was, I come out to a world where I'm like, where have all these foreign people come from? And they are the man them. And that to me was like, huh? Like, how have they... I've gone to areas where it's a whole different set of people from a different part of the world that are running this area. Not that I was thinking, oh, I wonder what's going on in that area. I've just left it like this and come and seen it like this. It's a contrast. It's complete, like, remember, when I went away, there wasn't people from Albania. But I come out and man like, yo, them elbows and I'm like, huh? You know, like the grow houses and all like that wasn't. There's I don't remember so many different, and they definitely wasn't. You know, like it was the yardies, and then it was we.
Simple.
You know what I mean? We are the British Jamaican descendants. But we're British, we're English. So to come out to a world where like raw and they're like the guys, that was a shock to me. And I come out and it's like there's a whole new, the gal them are like man, the man them are like gal. Yeah? Everyone's got beards, everyone's got tattoos. And I'm like, what's going on with this world? This is, it's changed, man. It's hard for me, difficult. There's a massive shift in the time I was away. Technology was another big one for me. So there was lots of changes. Like when I landed at DCAT, the parole board like, you ain't going nowhere till you've worked. I want to see you work. You need to hold down a job. So I ended up working in a factory for 2 years. In a factory, 12-hour shifts. Like it was harder than doing the jail for me. Yeah. It was a killer. I hated every single minute of it, worse than the prison. I hated driving there. I had my own car. People were like, yeah, but you got your car and you can eat. I said, I don't give a shit. I prefer to be lying on my prison bed than being in this factory. Yeah, but there was a lot of females in there, but I wasn't on that. You think I'm going to come now and get entangled with one of these and I'm on my mission?
That makes no sense.
So, but the point about that warehouse where I worked, it was probably 80% foreign nationals out of 1,000 people that worked in there. So I've come out of prison and landed there and saying to myself, where the fuck am I? Where am I? What is going on? They're badding me up, telling me I'm not performing in this what you call it, this factory. I'm like, this is the cotton fields. This is a modern day slave factory. And they're saying the camera's watching you in your booth. You need to be scanning, you need to be scanning. I used to scan like this. Scan. Throw it in the thing like every single, like throwing it in there, going, oh man.
Wait to get out.
Remember, I've gone on parole and they've said, you ain't going nowhere. We're knocking you back for a year. Why? I said, why are you knocking me back for? What have I done? Oh, because COVID's here. You need to demonstrate. You can't get to demonstrate because the global pandemic. So you're just going to have to sit in the jail. I'm like, what? Blood, you know how difficult that was? That is when the creator gave me trading.
I gave you that phone.
At that time. All right, so I got into trading in 2019. I got a phone. I bought a phone. I think it was plus 500 or something. That is when trading, they went, yo, so what happened? Remember, I got the tech, you know. Yeah? But what I'm doing is I'm cross-referencing information from Google to YouTube and getting answers. Pen and paper, book after book after book, writing out notes. Teaching myself, saying I want to be a trader. That was my dream because at that point, I'm like, this is long, I ain't going back.